about this shooting in Michigan at this high school? Was it Oak
For a change.
Was it Oak Brook? What's the name of this high school?
Excuse me, just for a change, I just want to let you know, I'm actually on topic, all right, and you're coming off topic for a change.
No, that's the first. That's what we got first, man. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Yeah, wake up, buddy.
I just woke up. I was getting onto the other one.
I mean, what was the name of this school?
3 killed, hurt in Oxford.
Oxford High School.
In shooting at Michigan High School. So come on, James.
So there's a video that's going around of this kid, and he's in a classroom. And all you can see is his face.
Now, guys with good guns.
He's in a classroom, and he's saying, hey, we're on lockdown, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And you hear someone knock on the door. And he says, hey, sheriff's office. And the kid goes over to the door and says, hey, well, who is it? Sheriff's office. So, oh, we don't feel comfortable opening the door. We're coming out right now. And the guy says, come on, you can look at my bag, bro. And when he said bro, those kids were like, oh, he said bro. Oh, no, that's not the sheriff. And they got out of that classroom running because he was trying to get people to open the door so he can get into that classroom and shoot him. That's the story on it. So apparently this kid is 15. He's lawyered up with his folks, and he got these folks dead from him going in. I don't know what the reasoning was. They didn't say that he got the gun illegally. I think it was purchased by his father, but he got his hands on it, and he went into this school and done it. Now, me being the person that I am,
Mr. Pro-Gun, yeah,
I am pro-gun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say that. I'm not.
You're not pro-gun.
I am. These guys or people go into these schools, campuses, because they know guns aren't going to be there. And I truly believe that they go into these places and people are vulnerable and they can't protect themselves. You might have a cop or two on the campus, but they go in there.
Teachers with guns?
Probably no.
Do you agree with teachers with guns?
Do I agree with teachers with guns?
Mm-hmm.
Like all teachers? No. Do I think some designated?
I'm just trying to see the pro-gun for teachers, because at one time it was like teachers need to have guns.
No, I'm not.
I go to school to learn, or I used to anyway.
I don't think that's a thing that needs to be. Yeah, I think you kind of treat them like air marshals, right?
Air marshals.
Yeah, those folks that fly on the airplanes and you don't know who they are, but they're equipped to take you down if they need to. Maybe a designated teacher or so, or some official on the campus has a gun, other than just a
why we're not pushing money into why we're not pushing money into public schools. They ain't got much money for that.
Well, they got money where they want to put it. It just depends on where they want to put it. But nevertheless, I think there should be some type of protection for these folks, because these gun-free zones.
How do you know it's a gun-free zone?
It's a school.
In the US.
It's a school.
Well, this guy managed to get a gun in.
Well, by law, it's a school. You don't take a gun inside of a school. So, it's a gun-free zone.
But that's a theory. But tell me how you
solve the problem. Theory.
Tell me how you solve the problem of stopping guns going into the school.
Were you listening the past 15 seconds?
Well, I'm asking you for a solution. You're stating a fact, but I want you to state a solution to the problem.
A designated person, kind of like an air marshal, that can be equipped with some type of protection, lethal or non-lethal, whatever you want to call
bazooka?
That might be a little bit too much. You might kill a student with one of those. But someone that can actually be, act as can kind of stand in, to be there, whether they're a real teacher or not. But I think that can be something that could help, because most of these folks that do it, they know there's not going to be guns there. It doesn't happen at gun ranges. Nobody's walking in the gun range and shooting down the folks, because everybody there has guns.
How about doing something like TSA, where you work through a metal detector?
Oh, that happens, Steve.
At schools?
Yeah, you're a little too privileged, man. You ain't grow up in the hood, man. That happens. We did that in my high school.
Do you think it's sad?
Well, it
has to be that
all
way?
of it's sad, of course, because it shouldn't be that way. Kids have to go to school to learn.
I can't understand the philosophy that having more guns solves the problem for more guns. To me, it's an escalating problem.
But what do you think your solution is?
Well, For me to drive a car, I need ID. I also need insurance. They check on me to make sure that I'm not
Okay, let's see where you're going with this.
have any mental problems.
Sure.
All right. Do I think that everybody should have a gun? Absolutely not. Now there are checks made for people that buy guns now, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. I don't want you to think that I'm saying that checks aren't happening, because they are happening. But yet people can still open carry a gun. So in that case, I would like to be in a position where if somebody does open carry a gun, that a member of the law could go up and say, well, can you prove to me that you have that or whatever? And I think a member of the law should be able to do that. Just like when you're driving a car, you know, if you commit an offence, there's got to be a reason for it. But to me, I'll be honest with you, I went to the car wash the other week and it scared the shit out of me.
Because everybody had open carries?
Yeah. It was a car group. I think it was a Wrangler car group. And everybody is carrying a gun.
Now, why did it scare you, though?
It scared the shit out of me. I mean, I know about it. Because you never know whether things are going to take off. Now, that's not to say that I didn't have a 9mm in my back pocket, but it's concealed. Because I did.
I'm not with the open
carry. But what I'm
carry.
saying is there's a difference when it's open carry. You know, it's like, let's go back to Rittenhouse. I mean, I just still can't believe that verdict.
Why?
Because he came from a state into a state with an AR-15.
So?
And he walked up the street with an AR-15.
Okay.
To me, that's provocative. That's provocative behavior.
Okay, let's say that's true. What about everything else, though?
Well...
Was he defending himself?
Yes, he was, because they did shoot him first. And I agree with that side of it. Because it was proven that they did shoot him first. But what I'm saying is, did him openly carrying make it a provocative situation?
Yes, it did. He interjected himself into a situation.
And the whole purpose, to me, of carrying a gun is you've got to have a reason to defend yourself. So if you're open carrying, are you making the situation worse, or are you harming the situation?
What situation, though? If there is no situation, let's just say I happen to walk into the office and I got a gun on my hip. What situation am I making worse?
It makes people nervous.
Okay.
Because you don't know if it's that kid in that school.
You know what else makes me nervous?
Go on.
People with face tattoos or long beards. These are examples I'm giving that I don't care, but face tattoos, long beards, huge gauge piercing, that makes me nervous.
I'm not saying it's a...
But what I'm saying is, because it makes me nervous, does that mean...
stereotyping.
That's
That's like saying everybody that's black, I'm stereotyping.
No, it has nothing to do with stereotyping. You're saying someone walking with a gun makes you nervous. I'm telling you, total example, if someone comes in with a face tattoo, it makes me nervous. So what? What's the difference? Because it makes you nervous doesn't mean that I'm wrong. You're just nervous. And for you to be a gun carrying...
But I don't openly carry it. It's always hidden.
So you know there's a gun around you probably 8 to 9 times out of 10 as you walk through.
Would I even have the balls to use it if I needed to use it? Probably not.
Why do you carry it then?
Good question.
I'm interested.
It's a very, very good question. I'll give you a typical example that happened. What night was it? Thanksgiving night? My daughter calls up my wife, says, there's a kid over at the street sitting down. So my daughter was scared of coming home. I actually went into Jack and said, hey, Jack, I didn't have mine with me. I left mine at work. Says, hey, Jack, give me a new gun. So he brought his gun in. And I went out with the dogs. which I didn't know if was a good idea, because if I open the gate, they're going to go out there and start barking at the boy and everything else. I got the dogs in the house. I went out with the gun. I opened the gate, let my daughter in. Then I walked over to the kid. He's on his phone. I said to Jill, I says, where's the kid? I didn't see him because he'd turned his phone off, and he's literally sitting down on the grass. All right. I went over to him and I said, what are you doing there? Why are you sitting down? Oh, I'm waiting for my brother to pick me up. And I said, okay then. And as it happened, he was a 15, 16, 17-year-old maybe, young, and he said he'd just left work. He told me, he said he'd just left work and I'm waiting for my brother to pick me up. And then my wife turned around and says, why can't he go wait at the gas station? Now, in all fairness, it's more common sense for him to wait where he did on a grass verge on a quiet road than what it was at any gas station with some of the problems that you might have on the corner street. Well, I ended up paying for a year before him to get him home, to be perfectly honest. But the truth of the matter is, because I felt sorry for the kid, Thanksgiving night, he just finished work. All he wants to do is to get home. So I ended up paying for a year before him to get him home. But I mean, quite honestly, I had my gun, but would I think of using it in relation to, I think when I did my gun license, and that's what I think is important with the whole gun license thing, is the training. They say that it's there to defend yourself. And what do they say the average price of it is when you shoot a bullet? 25,000 or something?
Yeah, something like that. If you don't have any kind of representation.
Right. They say it can be expensive. So if you fire that bullet, you better be good. You better really understand what you're firing at. And I actually went to the gun range about 3 months ago, and I found it very interesting just to experience it.
I don't think there will ever be a total agreement with the whole gun piece, because people have their ideas with it. But I always say I never want to be put in a position where I have to use mine, ever. So I just mind my business and de-escalate where I need to de-escalate and move along. But the open carry, we were at IHOP the other day. I could see their guns. Didn't make me nervous at all. I had mine too. So my thought is, with an open carry, if someone really wants to do something, they're going to go for you first, because they know you have a gun. So I'll say if you're concealed, you're probably in a better position and not having to be dealt with. But that's just my opinion.
Do you think people that have got open carry are basically trying to prove anything? Think it's an ego thing?
I don't. I just think they're exercising their right.
So I think to a certain degree it's an ego thing.
Well, a gun doesn't make you.
If you really feel that that you've got to put a gun on your hip to prove it's your right, that's an ego thing.
You could say that, but who?
I mean, it's like somebody saying, "Well, I've got $1 million." Then the true millionaires don't go around and saying, "I've got $1 million." They sort of know they got it and they got the confidence of it, but they don't really go around and.
I don't know. I don't think it's an ego thing for everyone. Automatically, I think for some it could be.
And the part that's so difficult about America, I'm saying this as a European now. The thing that's so different about America that some people don't get is America is so vast that there's some places where they need guns. In a lot of the rural areas, they need guns because there's wolves and coyotes and there's different things and I really feel there's a need out there. In Europe, there's not really a need. Can you get a gun? Yeah, you can do. But it's normally a long arm. At the most, it's maybe 1 or 2 bullets at a time. I mean, it's like that. You might be able to get a magazine of maybe 5 or 6. It'd be interesting for me to actually do some research to see what the gun laws are in the UK.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But when you look at the amount of people that are killed in the UK from gun violence, and you look at the amount of people that are killed over in America, It makes you realise, really, if it's the right way to go.
Do you think we should ban all guns?
No, I don't. But I just think there should be an answer to the problem. And I don't think that we're going in the right direction to ever get a problem.
Well, there's
and I think it's been fired by, and I think it's been accelerated because of the amount of money that's been generated through the NRA through politicians. And I think indirectly it's the politicians that are really got to take part of the blame for this, regardless what side of the fence that you're on. I wish Jack had a microphone. He's always just on his iPhone, because I know he's got opinions about it. But I mean, it's just interesting. All I want is an answer to the problem, so we haven't got to see that people are going to schools. And it's nothing about being privileged or anything like that. I just think a school is for learning. It needs to go back to being.
People are going to do stupid stuff as long as there's human beings being alive. So.
But why do they happen more in America than anywhere else?
Because you live in America.
But that's no reason why. That's no answer to the problem.
There's no proof to say that it happens more in America than anywhere else, because you don't live everywhere else.
Of course there is.
You don't know
Yes, there is. There was a mass shooting in Australia in 1996. All right, and people could buy guns over there at that point. Uh-huh. They banned basically all guns at that point. There's not been a mass shooting over there since.
Okay, so
for
since
25
96,
years.
You're telling me that no one's been shot by guns in Australia since
in a
1996?
School. In a school.
Okay, in a school or otherwise.
Right.
Since 96. I challenge you to find that's not absolutely not true. I would say that there's been more than one or two shootings since 1996.
Do you know how many policemen there are shot in the UK a year?
I don't live over there.
6. There was 6 shot last year. I know that in the UK.
But there's no guns allowed, right?
Right.
People still got shot.
Right.
We're never going to fix the problem because people are still going to have access to guns.
How many people got shot last year with guns?
Well, what I'm saying is, you haven't given a solution to say what do we do?
I know, I haven't. But what I'm saying is, the way we're going, we haven't got a solution, and we should be able to find a solution. We're all adults. Well, most people are.
When you say where we're going, what do you mean? Where the way we're going?
The way we're going, I think it's. I mean, how many school shootings have we had this year? You know, a Uber driver got shot in the back of the head last night in Houston.
Right. Not a school shooting, though.
No, but it's still a shooting.
Right. And that happens all the time. Every weekend, someone's killed in Chicago.
Right, which is a bad area, especially South Chicago.
It happens.
I used to live in Chicago, and it's a bad part. I drove through it once, never want to drive through it again.
It's a problem that won't go away as long as there's people and there's guns out.
Here we go. Let's do a bit of research. Here we go. How many gun deaths in America last year?
Are we talking gun deaths or are we talking mass shootings?
Gun deaths. 2020 was a record year for gun violence in America last year. 19,380 gun deaths. Gun injuries last year was 39,427. Gun violence in the UK 2000.
You think there's gun deaths in Mexico?
Oh, God.
Central America?
Absolutely.
So, man, it's just, I mean, we live here. Of course, we hear about it.
Yeah, but
We're part of that.
But do they have like...
It happens, bro.
But because it happens isn't.
But you're not giving a solution. You're complaining, but you don't have a solution.
No, that's not true. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we should all be working at a solution. We should all be trying to do something. And I don't think buying a gun to solve the problem is necessarily an answer.
And the whole time you're a gun owner.
Right, but that doesn't make me a hypocrite.
It does.
No, it doesn't. Because what I'm saying is, I want a gun in the event that it happens. But, a guy died recently that I know. He had 17 guns. And he had 3 boxes of ammo.
Okay, what's that point?
Do I need 17 guns?
If you want them.
He wasn't a collector.
He collected the 17 guns. That's a decent collection.
But he wasn't. But he was. He would never call himself a collector.
Well, he may not, but he definitely collected.
But what I'm saying is, I understand it's part of the culture, but somebody needs to get together. I'm not complaining. I'm really not. What I'm saying is, you've got to recognize a problem first. Then you've got to go the best way to address the problem, even reduce the problem.
And what is that?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. You're the gunman.
I don't.
If I had it my way, I would honestly turn around and say, reduce the arms. But there's too much money. There's too much money that's generated. There's too many livelihoods.
How do you reduce the arms? Because here's the thing: you hear a lot of people when these things happen. Everyone has an opinion about, we need to do something about the guns. But what do we do? What do we do that is going to work? That'll be effective? What can we have? Because there's gun laws that are written, but the laws are written and they're meant to be broken because people do it all the time. But what do you actually do?
So what's broken?
To fix
what's
the problem?
Broken with the laws?
Because people get guns and they use them improperly. The young man that shot at the school specifically, he's 15 years old. He never should have had a handgun.
So who do you think bears the responsibility?
His father.
Yeah, I'll go for that. So do you think it's a problem with our judiciaries? Is it not judiciaries? Penal system? Judiciary system? Do you think it's something that they should impose the laws more?
No, people deal with more mental health issues than I think we stand to admit.
I agree.
And it's been so taboo for so long that people don't really get the treatment that they need to.
I 100% agree with that.
And I think that in itself is an issue with a lot of these problems. So people go and do it because they think that's the solution.
What I'm saying is, I don't necessarily believe that a good guy with a gun, all right, is necessarily the solution for the bad guy with a gun. If there's a better way of doing it, then why can't we find a better way to do it? Do you think there's so you don't think there's a better way to?
I didn't say that, but what I'm saying is I'm open to whatever the better way is. But I never hear any anti-gun proponents, people bring out a solution to say, hey, this is what we need to be doing. It's always make more gun laws.
Yeah.
Well, let's do more with the gun laws. And there's
so it is a case
of,
well, we've got the gun laws.
We
correct?
Do, exactly.
Right, we've got the gun laws. I mean, that's the part that the anti-gun people don't get. We do have gun laws, but in Texas, you can still open carry a gun without a gun license, correct? Or do you still need a gun license?
No, you can open carry, but you still have to go through as far as legally obtaining the gun. That's what you're supposed to.
And also, I don't know if this was legal, but I was always told before I had a gun license that I could actually, as long as I went through the checks, keep a gun in my car as long as I was going to the bank and I had a deposit.
Well, your car is treated like your home.
Okay.
Under the castle doctrine.
And I did that for a number of years, and I can't, but I mean, that was because I was told it was in my interest. I didn't even understand much about society. I'd only been here for like 4 years. So you're adjusting to a new culture and everything else.
Right. Have you heard of the rash of like robberies, daytime robberies in the LA area that's been taking place? So they've defunded the police.
Well, I don't agree with defunding the police.
Right, they've defunded the police, and a lot of these folks are getting robbed in broad daylight. Folks just rolling up on them and stealing.
I don't agree with defunding the police, but I do agree with having the police at a higher standard.
Got it. But what I'm saying is, so these folks that are getting robbed, if they had some way to defend themselves. Let's just say that the last video I saw, the lady was going into her house with a baby in a stroller, and they rolled up on her and took her bag, and they didn't take the baby, thank goodness. But took her stuff and peeled out of there. But if she had a weapon to defend herself, and she shot those fools dead, would that have been wrong of her? I don't know. I think we're kind of, it's a problem that won't get fixed, and we can debate it for hours and hours on end.
Wouldn't it be nice
until we have a solution?
Okay, wouldn't it be nice if we did have a solution for it?
Of course.
Do you think it would make America a better country?
Just the gun solution? We got more
No,
problems.
we have got more problems than that. But I'm saying, I need to point us in the right direction. That's the point that I was, trying to make.